Welcome to MLAC online tutorial. Now before us is this topic on the IUPAC naming of organic compounds. Now in this tutorial you'll be learning how to name organic compound. Actually in my previous video I did the nomenclature of carbon compound on the rudiments or the foundation or the basics of naming organic compound. And actually I will be bringing up those rudiments in this class just to emphasize and to ensure a better understanding of this topic. So actually I'll be writing those principles, and these are the prefix now plus the root word and the suffix. Alright, now these are the three terms that are very important while naming organic compound. Alright, I'll be writing all of them, then we'll be using it to ensure that we name organic compound accurately. Okay, so let us get started. Now here are the prefix, the root word and the suffix. Now for the root word, it's just the number of carbon atom present in that compound. Now if it is 1, we have the met, 2 et, the 3 pro, we have 4 carbon atom but, 5 carbon atom pent, 6 carbon atom x, 7 carbon atom hept, 8 carbon atom oct, non and dec respectively for 9 and 10. And we have the suffix. For single bond we have n, and we have the double bond n, hen. Now we have the oic acid, this is the functional group. Now the oil, now the ketones, the halides, and the alcohol, which is oil, 1 R and oic acid. Now we have the prefix, which is the chlorine, as in the halogen, and the alkyl group. Alright, now with this now, which is actually the basics, now let us use it to name compounds. Now with this now we'll get to understand how to name organic compound in chemistry. Alright, let's get started. Now let's look at these examples on the board. Here's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Alright, now let's start by first of all identifying the root word, that is the number of carbon atom, and let us also try to ensure we look at the longest possible chain. So here you have 1, 2, and 3. You also see this is 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now with this now we have 3, which is the longest possible chain. So, and this 3 here is a pro. Okay, now the next one is to add this suffix. Okay, and the suffix here we have what? N. So here we have plus N. Now let us now identify the position of this double bond. Now here we have 1 and here we have 3. Okay, now the question now is, which of these should we use? Okay, so in this case now we have to choose the lowest number. Okay, the lowest number now, which is 1. So now it means this double bond here is in the position of the first carbon atom. So we can actually rewrite this as either prop 1N or just propane. Alright, whichever. So this is number 1. Now for number 2, let us look at the root word. Here we have what, and the possible the longest possible chain, 1 and 2. Okay, so from here now we have 2 is what? Et. Okay, All right, sorry. Okay, now since it's double bond, I mean single bond, you can now say this is right. Now, but here we have this functional group. Now, and this functional group is the hadite or alkana, and its suffix is what? Al. They will add it Al. All right. So how then do we combine these terms together to give you the right organic compound? So in this, what we all need to do is eliminate this E here, then include this. So here we have ethana. So ethana is the name to this organic compound. Okay. Now let's move to this one. Now let us identify the longest possible chain. Now here you just need to be very careful. All right, you might want to say this is 1, 2, 3, and also 1, 2, 3. This is wrong. Okay, now this is wrong. Now the longest possible chain here, you see that we start like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, now since here we have 4 carbon atoms, which is the longest possible chain, so here we have our 4 here is what? Both. Okay, now it's actually a single bond, so plus, so the compound here now will now be butane. Okay, all right, now let us see number 4. Now let us now therefore identify the longest possible chain here. Fine, if I have to start from here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You can also say this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can also still write 1, 2, let me say 3, 4, 5, and 6. We can also still write this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now you can see we have the longest possible chain here is 6. Okay, so either we start from here, so let us probably clean this particular one, clean this, clean this, clean this, clean this. Okay, okay, and clean this, clean this, clean this. Okay, so that is it. So here you have 1, 2. Let me just put it very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So starting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can also start naming here like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so that is the longest possible chain. Now, and 6 here is what? X. So X. Now from here we get to, from here, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now this branch here now takes we will have to take the shortest branch. So here, if we scan from here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here it is position 5, here it is position 2. So here what, okay, before we come to the prefix, let's move to the suffix here, which is plus. This is the single bond. All right, now from here also, now we can now get the prefix, and the prefix here, the shorter position here is 2. We don't go for 5, it is 2. So here we have 2 methyl hexane. All right, so that's the answer for this. All right, looking at this, let's identify the name of this organic compound. All right, let us now take the longest possible chain. Let's say this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now with this, now since it is 4 here, we have what? Boots. Now it is a single bond, right? Okay, now for us now to identify the prefix in this compound, so what we just need to do is to ensure that now the halogen actually comes first before the alkyl group. Okay, now if the halogen comes before the alkyl group, then here we have, now this is 1, 2, since the halogen comes before the alkyl group. Okay, so here we start with 1, 2. So here we have 2. The position of bromine here is what? 2 bromo. Then 1, 2, 3. Then 3 methyl butane. Okay, now that is it. All right, now but what if you now have chlorine here, okay, so which means this one will be reduced to 2. Okay, now if you have chlorine there, all right, in this case now, if you have chlorine and chlorine and bromine, now you have to name it alphabetically. Now but we know that halogen comes first before the alkyl group. Now but when we now have different halogen group, we will now name it alphabetically. So by alphabetically we have A, B, C, then D, E, F, and so on and so forth. Now from here we can see that B comes before C, so which bromine comes before. So we can now say here 2 bromo, 1 chloro, then 3 methyl butane. Okay, all right, so let us see other examples to help understand this better. Okay, let us see this. Here's another example. All right, now looking at this, let us find the longest carbon chain. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can name me again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now since here we have 4, now this will be boots. Now we'll go move to the suffix. Now since the suffix, that is one single chain, right? One carbon chain, single bonding rather, that will be plus. Okay, now but here we can see we have a functional group. Okay, all right, now we'll choose the shortest. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now but here we have the methyl here, which is the prefix, position number 2. Okay, now here and here we have the alcohol. Alright, now the question now is, from here we get to determine the position of this. So from here now, do we use 2 and 3, or we'll use, okay, from this angle here, okay, this is 2 and 3, and from here we have 2 and 3. So here we can now say our oil plus R. Now, but our oil now is having 2 positions. So if we're actually coming down here, we have 2 and 3, and if we are coming down here, we have what, 2 and 3. So here we can now say this is both. Now the position of this, that will be 2, 3. Now di oil. Okay, now for the prefix here, now what do we do for the prefix here? Now for the prefix, which is what, methyl, now what do? We now look at the diagram there. So here we have 2. So here you have 2 methyl both. Now sorry, this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2, 3, the oil. Alright, now this is the naming of this compound. Alright, let's move to the next one. Now the next one, let's find the longest possible carbon chain. If you have number from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you number from here also, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, now from 4 here we have that is boot. Now but here we have double bond, which is N plus N. Now we need to ascertain the position of this double bond. Now from here we can see this is 1, 2, and here we can see this is 1, 2, 3. So this double bond is in the position of 2 or 3. Now but we just need to choose the smallest number. So here we have both 2 on N rather. Okay, now the next one here is this compound. Now the question is, how do you start naming this compound? Now we'll start actually from the functional group. Okay, so if we start from here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if we start here, go 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we start here, this 1, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the longest possible carbon chain is starting from this one, this functional group. Okay, from this now, so here we can now say this is 1, 2, and 3. Now in this carbon chain here, this carbon atom contains 2 functional groups, which is carboxyl acid and the alkanol functional group. Now the question now is, okay, let us quickly write the root word. This is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 5 is pent. Okay, all right, so what next now is to ascertain the functional group. Now actually I'm using this because it is just single bond here. All right, but okay, the functional group here, since we are starting from here, this is 1, 2, 3, then 3. So with this 3 here, now which one comes first, carboxyl group or alkanol group? Now the first one is the carboxyl group. So here we have 1, 2, 3 plus, okay, we have the oic acid, now plus we have the oil. Okay, now from here also, now we get to ascertain the position of this compound. So here we have it. Now, but the unfortunate thing you will just need to correct here now is this oil here. Since we've identified the functional group, one of the functional group, which is this. Now this and this now becomes the prefix. Now they become what? The prefix. And as they become the prefix, now here we now within this, which of these comes first? So here the carboxyl, okay, from the hierarchy, from here it actually comes, there is what we call the hierarchy, or the priority of ranking. Now it actually starts with aconic acid, which can also be the carboxylic, then the hydroxyl, which is the alcohol. All right, so here we say this is 3 carboxyl, now 3 hydroxyl. So here we have, so we don't have this. So here we have 3 carboxyl, then 3 hydroxyl, then pen. Now you now cancel this, include this pentanoic acid. Okay, all right, this give the accurate naming for that compound. All right, with this now let us start with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now with this now we can ascertain this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and for 5 we have what? The pent. Now since we have triple bonds there, we have the N. Okay, but we need to ascertain the position. Now here we have 1, from here you have 1 and 5, and here we have 3 and 3. Okay, so since this 3 and 3 here, now for here we have to ensure we take 1, which is the smallest. So here we have 1, 3, the N. Okay, all right, so the final one here we have, since you have a functional group here, we start with this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so since we have 5 here, we have what? Pent. And since here we have this functional group, take note, plus, since it's single bond, now this functional group here is R. Okay, now what is the location of this halogen? So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here you have 3, 4 dibromo pentanal. You cancel this one. All right, so these actually are the names of the compound in which we make use as an example. All right, we've come to the end of this tutorial, and if you love what I've just done, ensure you click on the notification button to be notified of all my videos in chemistry, physics, and mathematics. Ensure you follow this rule as you name every organic compound. Thank you and God bless you.